My name is D. Lanier Shook, and I am the information collector. Today, I'm coming to you from the Western North Carolina Ag Center, where they are wrapping up the WNC ComiCon, which is a lot of really awesome, cool folks getting together to celebrate creativity. If you've never been to a comic book convention, and not just the big one on the West Coast, you should go. Especially if you're a creative individual. It's a room full of people celebrating creativity. Those folks in the costumes, I know they're fans of the superheroes and characters. It's all about creativity though. Now I'm also here for a couple other reasons. We're across from the Nashville Airport, which you can hear. There was a helicopter. I think we had a 737 go that way later. We're up the road from Amazon. Mills River, which is pretty much what this is. Ooh. That sounds like, oh. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an Apache helicopter. We just had a flyover by an AH-64 Apache. I try to get a picture, but that it'd be a waste of time because you never know what's going to be. Anyway, cool. Merle's really excited, not just because of this. He's wearing his cyber Batman costume. It's very impressive. Anyway, all right, so. There isn't? Okay. Anyway, Mills River, North Carolina. I-26 is that way. We've got the Ag Center. They've had something for the past 3 weeks. Home show. I want to say there was a gun show. But a lot has gone on. So y'all need to check it out. All of this going on as we reopen, and make sure to check out the Mills River. Last Tuesday, the U.S. Treasury Department designated and sanctioned 7 individuals with ties to Hezbollah and its financial front, Al-Qard al-Assad. The primary figure they sanctioned was Ibrahim al-Dahir, who's the chief of Hezbollah's Central Finance Unit. Now, Al-Qard al-Hassan is basically a financial institute that works a lot with Hezbollah, and the U.S. Treasury Department alleges that it has been set up as a financial front. The other 6 individuals are alleged to have used personal accounts in Lebanese banks to evade U.S. sanctions and move $500 million to support Hezbollah. Last Tuesday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the attacks on the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. These attacks by a group calling itself the Allied Democratic Forces killed 28-year-old Malawian Lance Corporal Shetinji Kamanga, and we mourn her passing. She gave her life in the service of her country, of the people of the Congo, and the people of the globe. We mourn the passing of her and the 5 villagers from the Congolese village that were also killed in this attack. Last Friday, Honduran President Juan Hernandez visited the Blue Lagoon Hatchery and Laboratory in Honduras. This hatchery breeds sturgeon, trout, and tilapia. The president said that the government is supporting the laboratory hatchery to boost the economy both in tourism and aquaculture. Said the goal was to increase production of fish. And there goes another airplane. Nifty. It's one of those expensive ones. Just has one engine, but it looks like a cabin of about, I don't know, holds about 6 to 10. It's got little winglets on the tips. Reminds me of one of those Pilatus Swiss aircraft. Sorry. This is the hazard of reporting from across from an airport. You keep seeing cool airplanes taking off. Okay. So the president of Honduras said they wanted to increase production of fish by 10%. He described it making it, quote, accessible like chicken, so that people could eat more fish. Currently they have a production of 27 million pounds of tilapia, and they export caviar. Last Monday, there was a Pentagon press briefing which covered a lot of interesting information, and I'm just going to hit a few highlights. Okay. That's a smaller airplane, but still very nice. Looks like it's got maybe 2 to 4 seats. Fixed landing gear, but really, really nice. Like I said, a hazard of reporting from an airport. Okay, all right. So the Pentagon held a press briefing. I'll just hit a few high notes. Defender Europe 21 occurred recently. The 82nd Airborne flew paratroopers from Fort Bragg for a night drop in Estonia. Trojan Footprint 21 is occurring in Southern Europe. It's demonstrating interoperability. That is American Airlines. It's a commuter feeder jet. It's looks like a big business jet. It's got twin engines on the back of the fuselage, winglets. I don't know. Probably carries 30 to 40 passengers. Okay. Trojan Footprint 21 occurred in Southern Europe. Interoperability between U.S. Special Forces and those of Romania, Bulgaria, Georgia, Montenegro, and Northern Macedonia. In the East, exercise Tiger Balm occurred it was a bilateral exercise with the Singapore Army. In the Arabian Sea, the USS Monterey seized thousands of small arms, rocket-propelled grenades, and some Chinese and Russian anti-tank guided missiles from a dhow in the North Arabian Sea. The U.S. Navy commissioned the USNS Miguel Keith. An expeditionary sea base. Now, I've mentioned before the Herschel Woody Williams, which was another one we've talked about. The Miguel Keith will be deployed to Saipan. It is named after San Antonio native U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Miguel Keith. Killed in action, May 1970, in Quang Ngai, Vietnam. His platoon was attacked. He was wounded. After supplying machine gun fire to support his platoon, he charged 25 enemy soldiers, dispersing them and saving many members of his platoon. And this ship is named after him. Also, that day on, let's see, when was the press conference? Monday. Last Monday, they reported that a 13 Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy fast boats came within 150 yards of 6 U.S. Navy vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, these were 6 vessels, including the USS Monterey, which interdicted the weapons shipment, that were escorting the USS Georgia, a guided missile submarine. And the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Maui fired 2 warning volleys. One was at 300 yards, the other was at 150 yards, comprising 30 50 caliber shots. So at which point the 13 fast boats turned away. So that was the Pentagon briefing, and full of lots of very interesting, slightly disturbing information.